right, so this is the Moleskine watercolor notebook or sketchbook. It has 200 GM, so that's like 135-pound paper. It says you could flood each page with color, and it looks like we have a paintbrush, a marker, some kind of fountain tip pen here. Getting out of the light, apologize. All those kinds of fluid things that you can use with this book. Here's the pertinent details. So 60 pages, cold press, both sides of the page. It's acid free, so that's really good. It's actually 11 3/4 inch by 16.5 inch, and it has that expandable inner pocket that all Moleskine has. And so let's just open it up and have a look. It has the elastic, which is lovely. So we'll put this down here. Let's just, yep, there's the pocket. Just take this off. And it has the measuring thing, all those things. Just like every other Moleskine, it has that. Okay, so I like to just keep this in the pocket. I have, there's the story of Moleskine, really neat. The paper looks nice. I don't know if you can tell from here. It is cold press, so it has the bumps on it. It's not smooth. I don't know if I can show you that, but it's got somewhat of a nice bump on it. Apparently it is 25% cotton paper. Maybe that's true. I don't know how to check for that. But yeah. So what I'm going to do is I always take the last page of a Moleskine book, or any kind of sketchbook actually, and I do some swatching on it because I'd like to know ahead of time what leaks through. Oh, the front page has a in case of loss and a manifesto, and then it gets right into all these fantastic large pages. This is really good if you want to work big, right? So yeah, looks really neat. So it looks like they have stitching every page. Let me check. Maybe it's, yeah, every other page has the stitching, which is not bad. It's fine, because that means you can put some gesso in there and then have a really big spread. All right, so I'm going to use this page. I've got some water and I've got a bunch of tools. So I'm going to use these on my paper here because I'd like to see. Here, let me move this over because I'm not using this half of the book. Let's move this over. We can see my tools. And then I got some, and then I got a paintbrush. And I even have some paper towel because it's a watercolor book, right? So we're going to see if this watercolor ink, how it works on here. So we're just going to have some fun and get into it. Here we go. We're just going to wet a little area. And you know what? I'm just going to put a little drippy drip. I mean, it looks cool. Let's see if it spreads pretty good. It does. It acts like a watercolor paper, so that's pretty good. I want to see. I don't care if it leaks onto that page. Okay, so it's not buckling. I don't know if you can see, but there's no buckling. It seems to suck in really well. Like we're not even dripping here. So I think that's pretty good for now. See if I rub and rub and rub what happens. It's not piling or pilling. So that's good. That's awesome. So that's okay. I'm pretty pleased. It is actual like a watercolor paper. Some of the Moleskines, it says it can do watercolor, but on all honesty, it's like light washes that they can do. So this is really exciting. Next up, because I may not use this book strictly for watercolor, so I want to try different media on it. So I have this Copic sketch marker. It's orange, so we will give it a go. I like the brush tip, so we're just gonna do some scribblies. Now this is the key. I'm gonna do really, let's have a look. If it goes through, oh, it barely goes through, although that was a light pass, so I'm just gonna go over it again, and we will. It's got really nice, it's pretty thick, like you could feel how thick it is. So in case I want to layer a lot, let's see. Okay, it does go through a little bit more when you go really intense, but I was literally working on that, you know, area for quite a bit. You probably won't be doing that without letting it dry and then come back to it. Nothing on this side. So that's really, really lovely. I'm happy about that. Next up is Posca. Now this, if you know Posca, Posca markers will really tear up your page. I'm not sure what to expect with this because it's watercolor paper. It's thicker, but you never know. Here, let me just activate it a little. So it's really not too bad. I'm going to go over the area. There is a little bit of stuff on there, but that was already on my Posca marker. So yeah, I'm not too worried about that. This looks good. Generally, like, if you go in one spot too often, it scratches the page and destroys the page, because these nibs are plastic nibs and they are intense and they are not flexible in the least. But yeah, it looks pretty good. There is a little bit of like piling or whatever, but that's not piling. That's actually like the dried up marker acrylic ink. It's like literally coming off of my marker. So yeah, I am pleased with this. I don't know that I would use these very often in this book, but it's good to know. And let me have a look on the back side. Nothing, it's just a little bit of buckling now that the watercolor has sucked in. I don't know if you can see that, but that's with any watercolor paper because I did put extra, so it's still very wet there, and it's not too bad. Just a little bit of buckling, and then this is still, you know, it still is. All right, so watercolor ink, Posca here, and then Copic here. Not too bad so far. Pretty awesome. I'm hoping to show you some of the texture of the paper. So this is just a art crayon from Marabou. It's also watercolor, so I'm just going to, ooh, see, you can really see the texture here of the paper. So how bumpy it is because it's cold press. It's really great though. I like it. I'm just gonna see. Not bad. Not piling at all. Looks really nice. Alright, so that's awesome. And I didn't put as much water as over there, so I'm not too worried to look if it's buckling. Like, there's still a puddle of water on my watercolor here. I don't know if you could tell. So, yeah, I'm pretty happy so far. Next step. I don't know how much I will be using charcoal, but I do interspace charcoal with a lot of other things. I think this book, I'm going to gesso the pages and use it in my oil painting. And I do mix stuff with my oil painting. So I'm going to put charcoal probably in some of the oil. So I just want to see how it is. Very rough, which is not bad. It's kind of like charcoal paper. Too bad. Oh, yeah, you can really see the texture. Now that I'm pulling this over, I'm going to pull some more over. There, and I'll show you. So you can see the texture. It's quite lovely, bumpy, just like regular watercolor paper. Okay, so my other thing I like to play with is the Pitt pens. This is a gray, so I don't know, let's just, goes really good. I probably will not be using Pitt pens in this, but it's, you know, maybe I'll change my mind like 3 months from now when I'm making an artwork. So we'll just have a look about it. Yeah, it feels just like a Pitt pen. It doesn't, it's a bumpier paper, so it leaves a lot more white, but that's not too bad. I'm okay with that. My favorite pen ever, I don't know what it's called. It's this one. If you could read it, I don't know which way is upside down or right's the way up, but I love this one so much. It's almost empty, to be honest. It makes me sad, but it makes such a like nice matte, like, oh, I don't know, I love it. It's working okay on this paper. It doesn't really like bumpy paper so much, apparently. It's more of a smooth marker or pen. Works okay though. Alright, and then last but not least, my absolute favorite regular pen, Pilot Bravo. And let's just, oh yeah, it works good. It works good in this. Nice. Well, this is a brand new pen too, so it's nice and juicy. Let me see if I can find a pen that's almost out. So this is just as good as any of my other sketchbooks. I love it. Here is a Pilot Bravo that's pretty much empty. See what it does on this. These are nice grays. Yeah, I'll probably just throw this pen away, but I'm pretty impressed with this book so far. I think it'll do exactly what I need it to. And let's see about buckling. Okay, you could, it's a little more pronounced now. That stuff has sucked in more, but I don't feel like it's too much of a problem. Like I say, every kind of watercolor paper kind of does stuff like that. So, oh, it's a little bit here as well where I did the... Still, not too bad. When you close the book, once it's completely dry, that should flatten out. Actually, once it's completely dry, it should level out anyways. But I am pretty impressed. Liking this book so far. This is going to be my mega sketchbook, and I'm pretty impressed with it. It was on sale from Canada, or Amazon Canada. It was on a sale. Instead of $50-something, I got it for $40. So that's why I splurged. I was like, yes, I will attempt a very large sketchbook. I hope you guys liked this sketchbook review and try out. And like, subscribe, and tell your friends about me. And I will see you guys next time on the Stained Canvas.